Hey guys, so we are back for part 2 of the video. We wanted to give you a little bit more information about our debt freedom journey to paying off $35,000 in debt. If you haven't seen part 1, check it out. All right, and once you check it out, you're welcome to come back to this video if you haven't finished this video as well. So in this video, we're gonna start with just some little things that helped us to pay off our $35,000 in debt. So we talked about our budget generally talked about budgeting and creating a goal, writing down a goal, creating a strategy, and just our individual journeys and our mutual journeys to paying off our debt. But we want to get into the extra income that helped us to pay off our debt, because if I told you that our individual salaries alone did the job, I'd be wrong. So we both make, of course, our individual salaries because we both work full-time, but we work side jobs. So for me, I do not have a traditional side job. In some sense I do, and I'll explain. So I kind of had about 4 incomes coming in at one time, and not really full incomes. So my full-time job was 1 income. I also coach part-time for a local high school. I do cheer coaching and I get a stipend for that. So that helped me tremendously in putting money towards either some leisure activities or to help us pay off for some leisure activities that we wanted to do that we didn't budget for, or it helped us to put money toward our debt. So we used it for one of those 2 things. That was cheer coaching. Another way I made just a little bit of cash on the side was I do user testing analytics. So I give feedback about websites that companies want to launch for the public, but they need some feedback from a small test group of people, a small testing pool. And so it's called user testing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but usertesting.com. When you sign up, all you do is talk out loud your thoughts about the site. They give you a set of steps to do, and you talk out loud your thoughts, and it's considered a test. And once you're done with the test, you get paid $10, and you get that for each test. So I did that as much as possible on the side and got some money from that, and put that towards either leisure or debt. But we didn't focus on leisure, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then my last income was a contracting job. So I am in the information technology field at my full-time job, but I also took on that as a contracting part-time job. So any work in the area, I went through this company who received job requests for different businesses in the area, and I was the person, the IT representative, that took on the task and went out to these businesses through this company to complete the work, and I got paid for it.
Yeah, and I had a traditional part-time job. So even before we even got married, I was working 2 jobs. You know, mainly to not only pay off my debts before I got married, but also because we was getting married and we was paying for our wedding together. You know, we didn't rely on our parents to pay for it. Mainly, we took on that role to kind of you know lift the burden off our parents on doing that. So I was so, like, you know, I've been working a second job since before we got married, and then we got married, and the wedding was over. Then we you know, when we looked at our budget, you know, I said, well, you know what, me keeping this job will help tremendously with us being able to pay off our debt, because you know, honestly, the part-time job I had, that was kind of like a third source of income. Like her part-time jobs, they were here and there, but mine was a consistent income. So that greatly helped us on our overall budget, and that was a blessing. So just looking at it as a blessing to be able to have another job that we can use to put towards our debt. Yes, so that's what we did. So I would encourage anyone that of course you're working your normal jobs, but if you have any free time available, consider taking up a hobby, like if you cheerlead or if you do any kind of thing that you may can get paid to do, you may can get a stipend for. Doing that, if you can work a part-time job where you can get 10 hours, 15, 20 hours a week, doing that, you'd be surprised how far that extra income can go towards not only just your debt, but also maybe any leisure you want to do, so you can focus more of your primary income towards your debt.
Right. Especially if you're in a phase where you well, for the types of jobs that I took on, I knew I didn't have time for a part-time job. So I needed to find something where I could just do at home. So that's where the testing came in, where I gave feedback on the websites, and that's where the contracting jobs came in, because it wasn't an every week thing. It was just once every time they needed me. So it wasn't something that was so consistent, but when I got paid enough to put toward my loans or whatever. So it just, it depends on your situation.
And you know, the user testing that she did, it's not a lot. It was $10. It was $20. She would just get $10 every time she did a test. But you'd be surprised how much that adds up and how far you can make it stretch. So I'm so thankful that she found other ways and other avenues that we can use towards just leisure and towards, like, you know, if we maybe went out to eat, you know, one Sunday, the $10 that she had coming in from her user test, that can go towards that bill. So so you'd be surprised how little little bit goes a long way. But yeah, and so and then to focus more on our debt, like we've been saying throughout these videos, we had 35,000. So that 35,000, it was basically broken down into two big debts. One was my wife's car, and two was her student loans. So the whole wife's so her car was the lowest amount. So what Dave Ramsey suggests is what's called a debt snowball. So like the smallest debt, excuse me. So what Dave Ramsey suggests is what's called a debt snowball. You focus on your smallest debt and pay that off pay off that first, and then focus on and then pay off your largest debt. So what he suggests is that say you have debt in multiple areas of your life. The larger debts, paying the minimum you can on that debt, and the smallest debt, paying the most you can on that debt. So for us it was, all right, well, we designated an amount of money we want to pay on that debt every month. So of that, we paid the minimum we could on her student loans and paid the most on her car. And then once you finish paying off the car, that money we was paying in the car, we added that to the student loans. That way we was paying more money off the student loans. That for us was tremendous, and it also kind of gives you a sense of winning. It also gives you a sense of winning because you know, when the car got paid off, we felt this joy that, oh my gosh, like we're getting closer to you know, where we want to be at, because this car is now ours. There's no more, you know, a person in between us. This is our car. So the small wins, focusing on the small wins. So if you have a debt that's $200, focus, and that's your lowest amount, focus on paying that $200 off first, and then once that's over, using that money that you was paying towards that $200 to put towards the next smallest debt, and just debts, like, keep it going, snowballing. It's called a snowball effect.
So I mentioned about budgeting last video, but I want to be specific about that. There were certain categories that we prioritized in our budget, but then there were certain categories that we did not prioritize whatsoever. And I think that's where the hang up is for a lot of people who are trying to pay off their debt. So for instance, anything with tithing, like I mentioned, we prioritized. We also prioritize saving, and we'll talk about our emergency fund in a little bit. So anything that we needed money to put aside for, we also prioritize for that. And of course, you know, we prioritize for our debt. Other specifics were utilities. That was a necessary thing. For food, we prioritized groceries, but we didn't prioritize eating out. So for our eating out budget, it was 0. It only came from any extra income that we got with our checks, not from our main budget. Clothing, 0. We didn't prioritize clothing at all. We used what we had, and we made the best out of it. And if something broke, we learned how to fix it. So, like, I had so many pants rip, it doesn't even make sense. But y'all, I figured out how to sew it together and keep it moving. So that helped me a lot. Gas for transportation was a must, obviously, because we needed our vehicles. But other things for the vehicles, like accessories and things like that, we didn't prioritize. Of course, we prioritized our health, our medical bills, our insurance. That was necessary. But anything personal, like cosmetics, well, we still got our hair done, but what I did was we spread it out more. So I didn't get my hair done every week or every 2 weeks. I got my hair done every 3 weeks. And really, you could do once a month if you maintain your hair. So if you buy the hair products yourself, and maintain your hair. Or men, if you can cut your own hair, or get someone who knows how to cut hair to do it for you versus going to the barbershop. And ladies versus going to a beautician to get it done. You can save money that way as well. Any other leisure things? Yeah, a lot of money. Any other leisure things like subscriptions and fun stuff, music, technology, pocket money, whatever. We didn't.
Yeah, I mean, our leisure was cell phones. You know, obviously in this day and age, most people, if not everyone, has a cell phone. So we had cell phones, but even in our cell phones, we didn't have the Verizons of the world, the Sprints of the world, the T-Mobiles of the world. We had Straight Talk. And so it's like, so that was $45 a month for me, of course, and then her. So we was paying $90 a month on our cell phone bill, and like I know, together. Like I know for us. When we got married, Lauren, she had Verizon, and her bill by itself was like $85–90 by itself. So just imagine just imagine us paying 2 bills of $85 a month on cell phones. That would add up a lot, and it also takes away from not only your debt, but also things you may want to do outside of just your budget, leisure, whatever. So us switching to Straight Talk or like Metro PCS, whatever you decide. That money is saved. We saved a lot of money by that, instead of having to pay for the newest cell phone out there and paying $90 to more than $100 on just a cell phone bill.
Yeah, and being satisfied with our cell phone. So once we left Verizon, we were no longer on the contract, which means we would have to pay full retail price for a cell phone. So just being satisfied with what we got, because our phones worked.
Right. Yeah.
And then also I want to mention that there's another option. So if you don't really care about the data package, so if you don't care about using the internet on your phone, because we also pay for internet at our house, so you don't necessarily have to have internet on your phone. But if you just want to call or send a text message, Google Voice is a free service. So if you connect your phone number to Google Voice and forward that Google Voice account to your phone, you can use that and talk for free. My parents do that with their home line because they don't need data for their home line. So if you just want one line that you just need to talk and text and people get in touch with you and that's it, that's the way to go. And then last but not least, we mentioned Dave Ramsey a lot. This book is The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. This is the book that we pattern a lot of our habits after. And mainly in this book, the first thing that he does is he tackles the mindset, because he knows that with this kind of sacrifice, you will end up talking yourself out of it. But it takes you getting your mind together and not talking yourself out of it and making a conscious decision to choose sacrifice first so that you can enjoy life later. And then emergency fund.
Yeah, I think my wife, she kind of summed it up pretty well. But yeah, that's our journey. That's the method we took to accomplish the goal that we had. So again, if you have not written down your goal, write it down. I promise you. vision is more likely to come to pass when it's written down than just in your mind.
Yeah.
So write down your vision, make it a goal, set a budget, and be realistic. Like nobody knows you like you know you. So be realistic regarding your budget. Excuse me. So you know, write down your budget. Be realistic when you write down your budget. Find other ways of income if possible. If you have time in your hands, if you have hobbies that you like to do that may offer extra income, like seek those avenues out. And you know what we did, you know, buying Dave Ramsey's book, that was an amazing token to help us out regarding our debts.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention in the budget, name every dollar, which means that's Dave Ramsey's theme, which means every dollar that you make should be allocated somewhere. So in your budget, you should know where every dollar goes to. There should be nothing left when you budget. And if you have any more questions about that, you can let me know. But this book also has an outline for the debt snowball, for the budget, and for other things like credit card things and stuff like that.
Also events, like don't forget about birthdays, don't forget about Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Do not forget about all of the things that we quickly forget about until it's coming up. So if you
we didn't really prioritize a whole bunch of that either.
You know if you normally do something for your siblings or for your parents, put in your budget. If you normally do something for Christmas, like how most people do,
budget everything
plan for
you
that
spend
thing,
for.
because if you don't, you'd be surprised how much money you end up spending on these different events and holidays that you never knew that you spent on. So put that in your budget too. So of course, like I said, write down the budget, being practical in your budget, looking up Dave Ramsey if you never heard of him, and seeing some of the things that he's talked about. And you know, starting with your smallest debt first, get that snowball rolling.
Yeah.
Like start with your smallest one and keep rolling.
Stay committed to it.
Yeah, stay committed.
Keep your eyes on the prize. It was hard, but so worth it.
Yes. But again, if we can do it, so can you. Until next time.